let's talk about questions, right? So, based on your audience's questions, what keywords can you use to build out that content? So, the keywords are important, but what we also notice when we do searches is the questions and how people search in question format. So, those pain points sometimes come in questions, and you can do a search on Google and you put into keywords, and just like Michelle talked about, right? That specific group, right? Women over 50, teenagers, the questions are, they're asking the questions, what's the best, what's the top 10 recommendations, what's the this, what's the this, and those are the questions that your target audience is asking. So this is where we talk about your content also becoming the answer, and you becoming the answer engine, right? So it's, they're feeding you information through their keyword search, through the questions that they're asking. So you can now take this information and say, okay, great, how do I start responding to this? Because that's that, as Michelle talks about all the time, that call and response, and the information is right there for you. So understanding your keyword is important, but understanding how they're taking their challenges and framing those into the questions is also important.
Agreed. I think in this respect, this is not the time to play hard to get. This is the time for you to be direct and tell your audience and then show them, what you're all about, and answer that question. You want to respond directly. Our attention spans are nanoseconds at this point. Deliver the information succinctly and answer, and you're basically saying, I got you. You asked for the top 10 ways to resolve that dry skin in perimenopause and menopause. I got you. But also, in the same respect, if you have a product that answers the call to a different demographic and speak to it, men who also have dry skin, there's a way to say it to attract them and drive them directly to the place that you want them to go to, but you're speaking to them directly. So don't play hard to get. Be direct and tell them what you want and tell them that you have what they need. Don't beat around the bush.
I think this is like the cornerstone of your content creation for sure. As you said, what we're trying to address here is that content creation in a vacuum, or content creation based on views of other content where you're just looking at the number of views that it got, and you're like, I want to do something like that for my business. But really and truly, what you're doing is, the way to do that is to answer the questions that are being asked. There's no better way than to say this is the foundation right here.
And answer the people. Answer the people. They have questions. Be the answer to the people so that they'll know that you have the answers. I love that, Michelle. Just, and don't beat around the bush. Don't use 10 sentences when 3 would do. Because, right? It just, you're wasting effort on your end, and people, because of the short attention span here, by the time they get to that third sentence, they're gone because you haven't set up your point yet for them to know, oh, I should continue reading. So I love that, Michelle. Be direct, don't beat around the bush. Let them know that you have the answer that they're looking for.
Yeah. And so one quick tool that you can use to this is answerthepublic.com. So, something we've been using for a while. It gives basic information, and you put your keyword in there, and what it'll tell you is all the questions people are asking around that. So you could start, it's a great way to start getting that overarching content that you should be creating. And, you may need tools to go a little bit deeper, but it puts you on the path to the right content creation strategy.